The aliens are probing us right now.
Right, guys, welcome to Rotten Mornings, Season 12.
We have a lot coming at you.
Up your ass.
I thought this was 13.
Not
No.
up the ass.
It's
What the
12?
It
fuck?
would be so
Up
much
your
better
ass.
if it was 13, I'm not gonna lie.
Stop! You're not putting things in my butt, Carrie.
So
You
yeah,
can't
guys,
stop
all
me.
of October, you can expect an episode every day of this ridiculous podcast.
So hide your butts, listeners.
Welcome to Season
Don't
12.
hide them.
It's season
Leave
13.
your
We're
butt
probably going
out.
to talk about scary stuff.
13's way better.
Yay. Don't look at me.
Hi,
Hey, guys.
I beat you to it. I was like a millisecond faster.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
said
weren't.
it too, you just couldn't hear me.
Me, I.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Rotten Mornings. We're gonna try to get back on track by releasing these in the morning
let
time.
me just say
Probably
how
not.
proud I am of us for being awake, so Carrie can be a part of this.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Good job, everyone.
Good job being awake, everybody.
Yeah.
No sleep.
We're responsible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Meow.
So, yeah. In today's recap,
We talk about.
we're gonna talk about the fact that we did a podcast last night about the Drish House.
Yes.
A spooky house in Tuscaloosa
Which is
with
now,
fire.
being rented out for like weddings and different parties and other stuff. Which I feel like it doesn't do it justice for being something like that.
What should it be rented out for?
Haunted house.
Yes.
A haunted
1
house.
month
Haunted
haunted
house.
house.
Haunted
They only
house.
rent it 1 month
Yes.
For haunted house.
every year.
For haunted house.
4 haunted houses and 1 haunted house.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So then after that, I released or will be released. I got confused now that we're doing it this way. It's so confusing. I'll be releasing the Haunt Tour video today. We haven't watched that yet, but it exists.
It's there.
It's there.
It's somewhere. It's there somewhere.
We
So
don't
you
know
guys
what it looks like.
Get to see the Haunt Tour video today.
Yeah. I haven't
great.
even seen it.
Yeah.
You guys are going to see it before us.
Yeah.
Yay! Lucky you.
And then we have Carrie's episode, which
Carrie's episode.
which again, I think we'll wait till discuss till tomorrow morning, even though we watched it, because
We watched it before you guys.
I don't want to
so-
spoil the episode for everybody.
Let me just say, I fucking love it,
I
and I,
think
can't
it
wait
was-
for everyone to see it.
She does a lot of like titles and logos, which I don't put in a lot of stuff, and she
It's fun to
utilized
see the
the
different-
lettering and the placement really well.
Yes.
And I'm not
she
good at
spells
that
things
at all.
very well too.
She can spell correctly. Already has me on logos for goddamn sure. That's fucking A.
Yay.
I know my Asian cues.
Literally, if she misspelled the whole fucking thing, my ass would still be like, meh, looks good.
That was
I know,
that was
it's
like,
good to me.
Looks good to me. That's how that all seems right. Checks out. The old,
There's words on the screen.
the
I
old
think it's
Mariel
really clever.
Rebster, as it
running
were.
around.
There's some words on the screen.
They get their running track or some shit.
So that's what you guys got to look forward to today.
Very excited for you to see it.
Yeah, I think that's all we've got for recap.
Just to let you know, it's fake violence. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Fake violence.
Keep that in mind.
So,
No Treevers were harmed in the making of
no
any of our
Treevers.
videos.
All Treevers.
Okay.
For the most part.
Yeah.
There's gonna be an episode when we like totally like
Murder Treevers.
yeah like
got to.
beyond him being
Poor
Triever
Tommy.
anymore.
That's his only friend.
You'll be fine.
Tommy will run up there, run
don't
out
look
there
so
and
sad,
scoop up,
Tommy.
We're
scoop
here
up
for
the little
you.
eyeballs and hold them in his
Triever.
hand on his finger like.
Fuck Triever.
I can't. It's wood.
Oh
Well, I mean. Morning
well.
wood.
I'm not sitting on trees.
I love the trees, and I love speaking to trees and being around them, but Triever is not a regular tree. He's a piece of shit possessed little entity, and I hate his
We
ass
don't
so
even
much.
know that he came from a tree. You're just assuming that.
You know
just
what? He
pretending
probably
to be a tree
came
the same
on
way
the
he tried to
trees.
pretend
Yeah.
like he was a human.
Yeah, he
He's
started
not like
trying
the
to be a
other trees.
human,
The
so
other trees
now
are
we all
nice.
believe he's a tree. That's
You know
probably
what?
the
I think we
ultimate
should have
goal.
Treevers on the podcast one of these days.
No.
That would be fucking hilarious. We could
No.
just ask him questions and he wouldn't say shit. And it'd be
Who's
like,
gonna fucking prop his ass up?
Tommy.
Jesus.
Jesus. What? Kick him out.
Yeah, you don't want to be here, dude.
So yeah, that's the recap. thank you for this 6
Thank you for the
minutes of your
roses.
life.
I'm gonna stick them up my ass.
Yeah.
I put roses up my ass, guys.
All right, guys. So
That's how
coming
Trevor
up
is born.
is
I am not the mother of Trevor.
You're gonna turn into a Trevor if you
Me,
stick
I
roses
Shut
in
the
your butt.
fuck up, Tommy.
Yeah.
sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken.
But it does produce macaroni.
That's true. She's got a point.
It's in a hat.
What are you talking about?
Not
There's
in a
macaroni in
butt.
your hat?
Yes.
Why is there macaroni in your
Wait,
hat?
It doesn't
Why'd you
matter.
put macaroni in your hat?
It doesn't matter.
He's
What
actually
the
wearing a
fuck?
hat right now, guys.
I
This
do
is
have
not
a
a
hat
good
on.
time.
Macaroni.
Yeah, is that why your hair always looks like Hey-Man hair?
His hair's
Hey,
blonde
man.
because of the macaroni.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you're
god!
right.
Macaroni is not hair dye, Matt!
Did you stick a feather in your butt?
What?
No, it's in a hat.
And called it macaroni.
Exactly.
Macaroni
Thank you.
Man.
I'm glad
the
we
butt.
finished that out.
That's a alliteration. Matt the Macaroni Man because of the M's.
Oh my god!
So did you stick macaroni in your
connection
butt and
is
call it a
real.
feather?
It was a
Oh
feather
my
in the hat.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my God. This
Motherfucker.
is off the
Are you
rails.
gonna tell me you fuck macaroni too?
Are you gonna tell me you fuck macaroni?
What, you like the sound?
It crunches.
Okay, cut this.
I'm
We're
scared.
done. We're done. Cut this.
That's
Cut,
the
cut,
end of
cut.
segment 1. Stay tuned for
Wait, I have
fairies
a question.
and pixies.
So, when people say Jesus fucking Christ, how does Jesus fuck Christ if Jesus is supposed to be Christ?
You can fuck yourself.
Easily. I fuck myself all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going that way, then yeah.
Here, Matt, you want a tissue?
For what?
For the blood you're about to have.
Myth, legend. Mankind has consistently searched for answers for what lies in the darkness. We now come to you with a small example and explanation of cryptids.
The world is big and the woods are deep. So just because you don't see them doesn't mean they don't see you.
Okay, Katie, make a noise. God damn it. Okay, it's over.
Hi guys, we bring to you fairies. Fairies.
We bring to you fairies just in general.
Yes.
In general, ROTN promises to bring you fairies.
Anybody want a peanut?
The Fae.
What?
The Fae.
Let's make a Princess Bride reference.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
There should be fairies in the Princess Bride.
Anybody want to
There
be?
was. They were hiding though.
So, the fairies
They were
of
running
the
the cameras.
past were feared as dangerous and powerful beings who were sometimes friendly to humans and could also be cruel or mischievous. Yes. They're said to
What's
have
a
longer...
human?
Humanoids.
Matt, you keep fucking up. Anyway, they're said to have longer lives than humans. I fucking hate you. They have no souls, and when they die, they just no longer exist.
Fairies don't have souls?
This is just, one recount of it.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
let that sink
I
in,
mean,
Tommy.
Maybe
Yeah.
one of them does.
Maybe.
About it.
The fairy queen has a soul.
How do you know if it's a queen or not still?
The
It
queen
might
of
be a
which
king
one?
right now. The
There's different
Sealy
unions.
or Unsealy court, and there's other shit too. Other kingdoms.
There's a whole kingdom. They have jesters and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
dude.
often carry off children, leaving changelings as substitutes. People transported to fairyland cannot return if they eat or drink there. So don't eat anything there, Tommy, when they steal you away.
I couldn't help myself.
Have some self-control, please. Fairies are said to be of human size or smaller, down to the height of 3 inches or less. Female fairies may tell fortunes, particularly prophesizing at births and foretelling deaths. They have several herbs, especially St. John's wort and yarrow, which are potent against fairies. So they normally harvest them and keep them hidden from other people. And they also have, they love hawthorn trees, foxgloves, and groundsels. They are so dear to them that if people abuse these plants, they may bring these people retribution.
Dun,
They gotta give them their sentence and fuck them up.
Give them retribution.
And that's funny because the Latin root word for fairy, fae, actually means fate. So it's like they're bringing them that bad fate, that bad karma.
Yes.
Fae folk.
So fairies were basically considered sort of karma. But then again, they're also just like gremlins and every other tiny creature. It was all just humans writing off their stupidity on something else.
Yeah.
Because gremlins in the war were like, whenever pilots or, mechanics couldn't fix something or some shit went fucking haywire, because it literally always did. Oh, it's gremlins. La, 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 la. Oh, it's fairies that stole my glasses.
The French verb for fairy is faire, meaning to enchant. And there is a theory that suggests that it's abbreviation. That it is a abbreviation for fair folk, one of the most common nicknames of the fae. It refers to both their appearance, and they are usually described as pale, as well as their obsession with truth and lies, bargains, and payments.
I thought you were going to talk about carnies being fairies.
What?
It's like those two very different people.
How did you get carnies out of that?
What? The what?
You said something about...
The fair.
Me.
Okay, well, anyway,
You said
knowledge
something about
of and belief in
carnies.
the Fae can be traced back thousands of years. Writing about the Fae became particularly popular in the 1200s. After fading from literature for a time, a resurgence of writing started in the Victorian era of the early 1900s and has continued to the present day. Yep, knowledge for you, bitch. Let
Hell
that try
yeah,
to
all
stick
up
in your
in
head.
your jaw.
Let that stick in, motherfucker.
The Fae will steal adults as well. They are particularly fond of musicians and poets and will take them away to their realm for their entertainment.
But
they
don't
also
eat their
take
food.
Yeah, don't eat their food. Do not eat their food. Do not eat their goddamn food, people. They also take humans who offend them and transform them into strange creatures or keep them as servants. So beware of the Fae.
And if you guys want to befriend the fairies, you must first respect and care for nature as they do.
Meow.
So pixies are technically fairies, right? Or are they different classifications?
I think they're different than fairies.
'Cause some say they're basically the same thing, just called differently.
Maybe
called a
they
different name.
started from like a root common ancestor, but they are vastly different in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a lot of differences were formed along the way.
All right, I was waiting. Anybody else got something? I'll just continue for a
Well,
little
if you
while.
give a fairy your name, it can possibly bind them to your service or make them leave you alone. Either one or the other.
To me,
And then
pixie and
fairies
fairy
conceal their
different.
names to preserve their powers.
Conceal the names of fairies?
Yeah, like they conceal their own names, but if a human tells them their name, then either it binds them to the human or it makes them go away from the human forever.
That's
Depending on the
Rumpelstiltskin. I
circumstance.
wonder if he was a
I
fairy.
think Rumpelstiltskin
He
was a
might
fairy.
be.
Or pixie.
Yeah.
Well, to me, pixie, I see like glittery and bright.
When I see pixies,
Like-
I think of the bad guys on the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
over there like,
pixies,
"We're
I guess. Yeah,
pixies."
I guess he's like the bad fairy, maybe. Because
think
even this
maybe-
says
Because I thought that
they're elf-like spirit or mischievous fairy.
Yes, I think pixies
Tinkerbell
are much
is a
smaller.
pixie, not a fairy.
Because she's
Really?
mischievous.
Yeah, because she has pixie dust when you tap her.
Oh, when you tap her.
Yeah, you tap her and pixie dust
Tap her
comes
on
out
the
of her.
butt.
Yes, literally, you have to tap her on the butt and
And here
pixie
comes
dust.
Pixie dust.
That's what Peter Pan always does. He spanks her. He does.
Dust.
Yeah, and dust comes off of her, and that's what she uses to make the kids
Is
fly.
that why you spank me?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that sweet ass pixie.
Okay, moving on.
That wants to fly.
Pixie dust.
Yeah, I'm trying to fucking get you some of your pixie dust so I can fly. Wait a minute.
What?
So, Peter Pan goes to some kid's house, has a little skinny girl wearing hardly nothing, spanks her hard enough that dust comes out of her, and the kids do the dust and fly. This was just a drug dealer and a crack whore that broke into some kid's house covered in cocaine.
Oh, you're reading too much into that. I mean, it makes sense, though.
I'm
So-
sorry.
Flying.
Yeah, I'm flying. Meanwhile, they're all dead in their beds with this blood coming out of their eyeballs.
So, while
Walking
human
on
women...
sunshine.
God damn it. So, while human women tend to be carried off, men tend to be seduced by fairy women. While the activity is more pleasant, it still doesn't end well for the men. God damn it. So, a guy named Yeats describes a type of fairy...
Wait, it doesn't end well for the men and some guy named Yeats. Hey!
Some guy named Yeats described a type of fairy called the Lin Huan Shi. Fairy mistress is what it means. If a man refuses her love, she becomes their slave. But if they accept her love, they are trapped by the fairy until they find another to take their place. She is considered the Gaelic muse and the inspiration for art and poetry, but she dries a man up and leaves him a wreck.
Erect?
That too.
That's
that
called
too.
blue balls.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I thought this whole thing was going to be around, where it's like the fairy women only get into sex for what they get out of it, and then they dip before I get mine. Sneaky little bitches.
I'm
I
sure.
think those are pixies. Definitely pixies.
Well, on the subject of abduction, the fairies often stole young women as brides or perhaps for other less honorable purposes. In the aptly named tale Stolen Bride, a gang of fairies carries off a young woman, and something similar happens to something in Jamie Friel and the Young Lady. Is something, whatever.
I just
And-
had a terrible idea for a skit.
Oh no,
God.
wait. In both cases, the women are put under an enchantment that leaves them mute and confused. Being noble does nothing to protect a woman, especially if the king of the fairies takes a shine to you.
It's like they're sirens almost.
In a way, I can see that.
Even
I can
this
see that
says
correlation.
Okay, so you're skip
No,
idea?
it's too bad.
Okay,
to say.
all right, moving
It's
on
too
from
bad
that
to
then.
say on the podcast.
even this is like the pixies would lead people astray, giving rise to the term pixie-led or pixelated to describe a person
Pixelated me, oy noise.
God damn it,
who
Karen!
becomes lost on a familiar road.
So pixelated comes from that. That's cool.
Comes from pixie-led.
Pixie lead.
Pixie-led and pixelated to describe a person who becomes lost on a familiar road.
But pixelated has a completely different meaning now.
Yeah.
Pixelated
Words
means
are
made
weird,
into
man.
Maybe
pixels.
that's where all the pixies went. They went to TV land.
Yeah.
They really are. Like,
Why'd they be so weird?
Because a word will mean something like 300 years ago, and it means nothing like that
Nothing.
today. Like, that's weird.
Well, there's been so many changes to everything.
That's
every
why
book,
English
every
is really
word,
fucked
every
up.
everything has gone through thousands of changes.
I think
Words
that's why
are
they
fake,
use
nothing's real.
pixelated because it looks like shit, and they say that it extended to mean any state of bewilderment or confusion.
So
I guess you
that
can relate
pixelation to confusion of what the
Confusion.
picture looks like.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that
cool.
makes sense.
That is an interesting etymology for a word
And
that we just learned.
It's the pixies, man.
on top of that, the Mahoy Manoys inside of the pixies, when they jump up and down, they hit pencils at people and they
Doodle
throw
pixies?
them really fast. Yeah, they're called doodle pixies. You get it. And they run around screaming, me, oi, 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 and they throw pencils at you until you die.
I believe it. I kind of think Carrie's a doodle pixie.
Don't
gonna-
tell anyone.
Oh,
She's
okay.
a
You're gonna
doodle
get a giant
pixie.
pixie and erase you.
Doodle.
If you try to erase me, I'm going to shove that eraser so far up your nose.
But I've erased you already. You can't even do nothing.
Nuh-uh, because I turned around and I had a
you got
supersonic
erased.
pencil blast, which is where I pointed it at you and you exploded. My game, my rules.
According to the Ballad of Tam Lin, the Fairy Queen pays a tithe to hell every 7 years. The fairies kidnap mortals like Tam Lin to pay their due on Halloween.
I'm just saying, like, you guys keep talking about these fairies and them, like, taking people and shit, and it's like, where's the dateline on this?
You know, what
like,
have fairies done to you, Matt?
I'm just saying, like,
What have they done to you?
right now, sex trafficking or whatever is like a big thing, and everybody's like paying attention to it. They're like new police
Don't
officers.
you dare blame the fairies.
Like, at what
Don't
point
you
will it
dare.
get to them where they like kick open a door and they're like, "This is sex trafficking," and they're like, "No, we're just fairies. We just use them as slaves." But yeah, we took those kids, but
Well,
Is this your skit?
It's like some fairies in a free candy van. Like, no, it ain't like that.
Fairies can be
It's not a
good
sex
friends,
thing. It's just a
though.
fairy thing.
Fairies can be good friends.
These
You
kids
just
are
have
going to the
invite them
cobalt
into your
mines.
home.
Yeah, they're gonna go
Yes.
mine pixie dust for us for the rest of your life.
So your
it's not a
phone-
sex
all our
thing.
phones
No,
actually
they
run
speak
off
the
of pixie
language
dust.
of gifts.
they do.
That's what cobalt is. It's fucking pixie
Fairies
dust.
are like, brats. You have to give them compliments and gifts and trinkets and respect what they love.
Yeah.
I'd never make it around fairies.
Did y'all ever see that Peter Pan movie with the Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Huge Jackman.
You jack, man.
He's a goddamn lumberjack.
I don't think so.
They were mining pixie dust.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a pretty interesting take.
Why did you mine the pixie dust?
I didn't. It was. In
Why
the
are you
movie.
watching Hugh Jackman?
Why do you look like a lumberjack?
Why are you jacking it, man?
I secretly.
Why are you Jack Man?
I got a
Why
huge-
you Jack Man?
Why you jack, man?
Why you Jack Man?
Not in public.
It's like, yeah, man.
Fire.
I heard
Throw
they're
some
gonna
50s at him.
they're gonna put Wolverine in the next movie. Why you Jack Man?
In many legends, changelings are sickly in appearance and fussy. They may have notable physical characteristics such as beard or long teeth. Parents could recover the original child by confronting the fey thief, making the changeling laugh, or torturing it. The latter belief was responsible for numerous cases of child abuse. Medical experts...
What? They
Yeah.
slipped that in.
Yeah. There was people that believed that their kids were changelings, and they would beat the fuck out of them, hoping that the fairies would bring back their original kid. That fucking happened. History.
There's a movie called The Changeling that's about that.
I want to watch it.
It's an older movie, I believe.
Did you know that leprechauns are a type of fairy?
That makes sense.
They just like playing tricks on people and hide gold at the base of rainbows and stuff.
I wonder if
I bel-
leprechauns are more like gnomes, or maybe a mixture of
I
both.
honestly think that
probably have
fairy
that
is
sure.
the like sort of genus of all tiny creatures like gnomes and
I
all
think
that
so,
stuff. Like
because-
they all fall under that heading,
Some of them are known to shapeshift, so it's possible.
like changelings, gnomes, like
I think goblins are something different, though.
I think
Like
there was
different
this,
realms.
goblins
It's
is
different
like a
realms.
lizard thing. Like it's more of a
Like cave dweller.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
referring to another TV show I was watching recently, and I think they called them all Fey folk.
Yeah,
and you
Fey.
had fairies
Yeah.
and all the other mythical creatures that were in there as well, but they just called them.
But
like,
what did
Fey
you
folk.
say, Fae meant? You said it a second ago.
Fate in Latin.
Fate.
Yes. I think that derived from, it was fate, but it was fata. Fata, and then it changed to fate in Latin.
Mm.
You know about the Fairy Investigation Society?
No.
In 1927, it was formed in Britain for them to gather information on fairy sightings.
Wow.
That's fucking hilarious.
I love that.
Like,
Oh, we're going to find these
It makes me wanna go
fairies.
become
Hell,
friends
we're
with
gonna
all
go
of
out
them.
there and get
we
all
need to
the
go build a
fairies.
fairy garden right now.
Right now,
Hip
yes
up,
we do.
Constable. We're going to get them fairies before it's tea time.
I do love that they call those almost sometimes perfectly circled mushrooms that
Yes.
grow in a big
Fairy
circle,
circles.
like fairy circles.
Yeah, or
Yes.
fairy
Some believe
rings.
that there used to be like a dead tree there, and
It probably was something dead, but yeah,
yeah, it's just really cool.
I think it is. Medical experts now believe that some changeling tales developed in an attempt to explain disabilities and neurodivergence in children. The only way to truly determine if a person is a changeling is by trial of fire or the application of a red-hot poker.
So basically, like when
They birth
kids were
fairies.
born and they got like depression
And
at
fussy.
12 and 13, or fussy, or
Yeah.
went through their teenage years, people were like, "Bring my kid back," and just started
Just-
beating the shit
Yeah,
out of their
that
kids.
actually happened all the time. They thought it was something to do with some demonic fairy.
God damn.
Yes.
Well, some UFO enthusiasts believe it's not aliens that we've been seeing lately, but it's fairies instead.
Dun dun dun.
They're back.
What do you guys think about that?
They're
Well,
back,
the government
y'all. You heard
did
it.
change the UFO, which is unidentified flying object, to UAP, which is what?
Unidentified air phenomenon.
Aerial phenomenon. Yeah. So it says that they can't say that it's an object because it could be a fairy, which is a human.
You heard it here
person.
first, folks.
Ooh.
Fairies
They wouldn't
are
call it
real,
an
and they're
object.
coming for your children.
And they like to tangle
So
your kids'
beat
hair
your
while they're
kids.
sleeping.
Yeah, and like
Yes, they
people
do.
keep
Use
getting
red hot
kidnapped
pokers.
more and more. It is all fucking fairies. We have cracked the fucking case. Let's get that British
my
team
God.
out here.
They
Yeah.
will leave fairy locks in your hair.
Whoever you are, British Fairy Investigation
Not you,
Society.
Tommy.
We're
Come
going
here.
to come to America and we're going to stop
Because you're
this
bald.
fairy scourge.
Fairies are known for having a wicked temper and very vengeful spirit. If you were simply rude or off-putting to a fairy, they might murder you or your children, or just make you suffer. You know, just that.
If
And-
you stop eating pudding, does that mean you're off-putting?
In one story, a boy doesn't let a fairy woman into his house. He's struck with strangeness and terror for the rest of his life, and the family is cursed to poverty and social ostracization. In the tale of Paddy Corrigan's wife, the wife is sick for years. Before finding out the fairies were mad at her for throwing wash water out at the same time they were passing by. Remember, the fairies are invisible. And when she was tossing the water out, she didn't know that they were passing underneath. So they freaking pretty much cursed her and targeted her for the rest of her life.
So they doxed her for like not seeing their invisible asses, like trying not to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, fairies are petty as shit.
Their true dwellings, those that exist in the other world, are typically concealed from our view, similar to the magical barrier. They are not overtly evil, they just have their own, often mysterious, agenda. It just so happens that accounts and tales of people falling foul of them far outweigh the opposite. That, however, does not mean they can't or don't help people, because sometimes they need help from people as well. They enjoy music and dancing and beautiful trinkets, like I said, as long as it's not made from iron. Don't give them anything iron.
You know, iron's bad for them.
Yeah, they don't like that. And it is said that they will sometimes appear to people that they find fun or interesting, especially musicians and those who love to dance. And they try to either trick them or have them over for parties. They have also been known to have bestowed fairy music and fairy music on musicians who have played for them at a party. It's time, in times of famine, they have sometimes given otherworldly cows, designated by their white body and red ears.
Otherworldly cows?
Yes.
Huh.
They have endless milk to entertain communities. Entertain them because they think, milk is like super fun to play in. And sometimes those who are given the otherworldly cows end up exploiting the cows, and the fairies fucking curse them.
So, what?
Yeah.
Something about otherworldly cows. I've never heard that before.
Space cows.
Oh, yeah, space cows. Because fairies are probably from outer space.
Doodle
I think they're
cows.
aliens.
Mihoy minoo.
Yep. Otherworldly cows.
I got an interesting
Yeah,
fact.
they roll tinsels too.
Well, possible fact.
Moo,
I find this kind of interesting. Earliest published version of the Three Little Pigs story is from Dartmoor in 1853, and it has three little pixies in place of the pigs. I thought that was kind of interesting. So it was three little pixies.
Three little
Pigs.
pixies sitting in a tree. Kissing. They stole your butthole. Now you're gonna die. You fall out of a tree and die.
Yay!
Fuck you, Tommy.
Another myth from Europe states that fairies are fallen angels who weren't good enough to stay in heaven, but they also weren't bad enough to be sent down to hell.
So it's kind of like a stingy jack in between the realms.
Yeah.
According to folklore, there are two types of fairies, the trooping and the solitary. Trooping fairies live in communities and are known for singing and dancing. They may or may not be friendly to humans. Solitary fairies, who live on their own,
Solitary fairies. That sounds fun. Solitary fairy.
they are
It's like
more
a band
likely
name.
to be harmful, and these include leprechauns and banshees. They're solitary.
Banshees
Banshees. And I'll get more into that soon.
Please don't.
Alright.
Oh, get like I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out where you sent me the thing you sent me.
All right. Well, there are subcategories of the Fae. There are changelings. Let's start with changelings. Sometimes they are said to be full fairy or halfling. A changeling could be identified by a few characteristics, including old, ugly, minimal growth, fussy, or on the opposite end of that, they could be very advanced and intelligent for its age. And that's like scary, back in the witch times. Oh my god, they're too freaking smart. It's something to do with fucking fairies or witches or devil. Parents and family members are frequently blamed for Fae kidnappings. Yep, the newborn that receive too much adoration for praise might garner unwanted awareness from the Fae, who desired attractive and charming babies.
What?
They want the best of the best.
So they're attracted to babies?
They want like charming little babies.
What kind of baby is charming?
I think
charming.
I don't know. I think all babies are ugly as shit.
It's like they
Never
pull
seen
up on a
Shrek?
baby and hand it like a fucking teacup, and it holds it with its pinky out, and it's like, that
Let me
baby.
charm you
It's
with my
tea
tea
time.
drink.
Yeah, what a charming baby.
I must have it for my own.
Yeah.
Like, why would they give away one of their own for, just a measly...
Again,
mortal?
I think it's really interesting how we're skating right over the fact that they're attracted to babies.
I guess they take everything from
Is it
you.
because they're little and babies are little?
Yeah, I guess that's
Well, some
horrifying.
fairies can be as tall as a person. So,
No. Well,
not
Ew.
pixies, though. They're just very small.
I think
Yeah.
they're just attracted to babies because they like to steal them and then raise them for like their cobalt mines.
Every time I
Maybe.
think of
Like, get out there, get to work,
fairies
kid.
stealing babies, I think of Willow and the little tiny brownies that are like, we got the baby! We got the zucchini baby!
They're basically like a pixie or a fairy.
Yeah, 100%.
Another type of fairy is supposedly a brownie.
Dennis.
A brownie!
That's
like
what I was
brownies.
just saying.
Brownies too.
They're brownies.
What a cool dinky.
What a legacy.
In English and Scottish mythology, the type of fae are often known as household fae. A brownie is often portrayed as being short and small with big eyes and pointy ears. Brownies are hardworking and are believed to live in homes or barns. They're seldom seen but are frequently heard scrubbing, cooking, and doing household chores late at night. So all the activity we hear, that could be a brownie. I just wish they would clean better.
Yeah.
They
It's
also...
definitely a brown eye we hear.
Oh my fucking god.
Brown eye.
They also enjoy rearranging rooms, much to the homeowner's annoyances. Brownies don't clean homes for free. They expect a reward with food and drink, like cream or freshly baked bread and
See,
cake.
there's our problem. We are not offering them anything.
Yeah, you got to leave them something.
We gotta step it up.
You're
Or
going to
they're
have
just gonna steal
Tommy.
your shit. Yeah, take Tommy
Take Tommy.
and Trevor.
Yeah, him
They're gonna need
too.
a lot of fucking fairies.
Fucking fairies.
You want...
A lot of them too.
The demands have been made.
Bring it on, bitches.
Bring all them
It's gonna be
fucking
a
fairies.
battle of the century.
Ooh,
Dun, dun,
it's a fairy.
dun. Tommy versus fairies.
And dryads. They are wood nymphs and tree spirits who live in trees. Their name comes from the Greek word dries, meaning oak. Dryads are known for fiercely guarding trees, and you'll often find them chatting to the trees they protect. These type of fae believe it's their duty to punish anyone who commits crimes against nature, and their wrath is not something you want to encounter. It is said that when the tree of a dryad that it's protecting dies, so does the dryad.
Oh.
Yes. And this word is very strange to me. I'm probably not saying it right. But there is the Dullahan. I'm going to say Dullahan. The Irish Dullahan, sometimes spelled Dulachin or Dullahan Des or something. Anyway.
Sometimes spelled, and then you phonetically pronounce it like
Whatever. They are terrifying and wild. They are male and female headless riders galloping through the dark, spreading dread, suffering, and catastrophe to the homes, countrysides, and towns, or anyone wandering roads late at night.
Like some Sleepy Hollow shit.
Yeah, it's actually, I think that inspired Sleepy Hollow.
Could be.
Dullahan is sometimes associated with demons, ghosts, or the Fae, and often carries its severed head, which it empowered with magical abilities, allowing it to see for miles. Sometimes its horse is headless too.
Its horse is headless too.
Yes.
Temporarily Sleepy Hollow.
That'd be fucking hilarious. A guy gets on a headless horse and it's just laying there, and he's like, "Oh, let's go, horse," and it's like just dead.
The only difference...
Son of a bitch! I really didn't think this one out.
Can't kick it down.
Well, there's a big difference between the Legend of Sleepy Hollow and this one, is that the Doulahan may whip your eyes out, but it never kills anyone. Well,
Just takes their eyeballs.
So all these little fucked up little creatures are like cousins of each other.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
From like different types of folk.
Welcome to Alabama, Tom.
Yeah, basically, they're all related.
Tales of the Doulahan are believed to stem from the history of the ancient Celts, who would often sever the heads of their enemies as a sign of disrespect and shame. It is believed that the soul was locked in the head. Ooh.
I got your head, I got your soul.
Could that be why we carve pumpkins?
No, pumpkins are for the...
Well, that's what.
To harvest pumpkin souls?
But they believe the reason why they started carving
Is to
turnips and
ward
pumpkins
off.
and stuff. I mean, that could have came later, but they believe that it was really symbolizing the heads that their ancestors used to hang on to from like battles and shit like that. It's just a theory,
like the
but,
I
pikes.
mean, that would make sense.
Like you kill your enemies in battle, and then you hold on to their heads and either put them on pikes, spears, or just chilling next to you, you know, as a trophy,
That
kind of
sounds very
like
Viking-like.
Predator. Like Predator has
Yeah.
trophies, and since the heads dry up, and all you can see is like the holes of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the skin's still on there a little bit. They believe that's why people started carving pumpkins and then it turned into the.
I think that the original shrunken heads are those two.
Could be.
Another subculture or, subgenre of fairies are elves, and they can shapeshift as well as guard nature and all kinds of stuff. I didn't really write anything about elves. But anyway, you kind of get it. Everybody knows something about elves. And then there's banshees. A banshee is a solitary fae known also as the Bean Sidhe or Ban Sith in Irish and Celtic folklore and
Bean
represents
City.
an omen of death. The types of fae here are referred to as women of the fairies. Yeah. Okay, and they wail and scream and cry outside of the homes of someone who wants to die, which is very similar to the banshees as well.
Yeah.
Wait, did I just say banshee?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My notes are kind of went scrambled after this. It is thought that only the households of pure Irish ancestry would be warned by banshees. So they have lots of wrath as well. Anyone who's approaching death will get a scream from a banshee. If you're Irish. And then
Thank
Tommy
God
brought
Graham's
up...
not a banshee, because then everyone is dying all the time.
I'm Irish.
So, pixies, what Tommy was talking about, they are known as the trooping fairy, and they're found near different places, and they began in Cornwall. But yeah, different places near woods and things, typically with a stream.
Cornwallis.
No, Cornwall in England. Who is Cornwallis?
Who isn't Cornwallis?
Okay, they have
It's a sure name.
youthful appearance and often dress in green with a pointed nightcap. Or, that's just the ancient way of writing things for kids, I'm sure. But pixies have a mischievous personality and often make deals with pranks and trickery. And they can easily be identified by their short stature, small pointed ears, pale skin, and their colorful wings that flare like flower petals.
Butterflies.
Yeah, I think they do have like butterfly wings. They live in the otherworld underground beneath the ancient Sidhe mountains, stone circles, ancient ruins, and caverns. They love to emerge in the twilight and dance in the forest and woodlands. Any wanderer who comes across them could be forced to dance, lose track of time, and might be pulled into the otherworld and never seen again. The fairy otherworld, that is. Pixies are sometimes described as ancient druids who refused to convert to Christianity and were doomed to roam the earth, rejected by both heaven and hell. Sort of like what you were saying, Carrie. So pixies might be that.
I wonder if Stingy Jack is a fairy.
Ooh, how stingy was he?
He's a pixie, I mean.
How stingy was he?
He's a pixie.
And last but not least,
What's
there
happening?
are the puka. The puka, sometimes spelled
Who?
puke, is a Celtic spirit and shapeshifter that can take various forms, including horses, rabbits, goats, and
Puke.
humans.
Human.
It is also known that they are called puck in English folklore. They are believed to be the light of the will-o-wisp to lure people into swamps and ditches and then flee with delight. Will-o-wisp. I
The
like that
will-o-wisp,
word.
yeah.
Depending on circumstances, puka may be helpful to humanity, but more often than not, its pranks are damaging and hurtful. It is said that seeing a puka in some form is an omen of imminent death.
Damn you, Puka. Puka.
So it's like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Puka.
And they steal children too.
Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Pokemon.
And
Gotta
then-
catch all the kids.
Yeah, that's
This is a fun fact that I
throwing
love.
balls at kids to catch them.
During the Celtic feast of Samhain, it is believed that the puka, shaped like a horse, would stomp the last seasonal blackberries and offer prophecy and divination to anyone who wishes to receive it. Why waste the blackberries, though?
Yeah, fuck you, Blackberry.
Yeah, blackberries are good.
We'll eat red berries around here.
Yeah.
That's goddamn dumb.
What about blueberries?
Fuck a blueberry.
Oh,
Oh, am I supposed to read the thing
You're
that
supposed to read the thing. I brought it up like
damn
4
it.
times to fucking read the goddamn shit.
The oldest fairy on record in England were first described by the historian Grevis of the 13th century in a 1485 book, Le Mort d'Arthur. Morgan Le Fay, whose connection to the realm of fairy is implied in her name, is a woman whose magic powers stem from study. That doesn't seem like it. Okay, that's not a sentence. She almost has healing powers, which she might have used on her former foe, King Arthur, on transporting him to Otherworld. Morgan is also a necromancer and can use her powers to be everywhere at once as an omnipresent being. She has the power to transmute one thing into another. I don't know what any of that
Well,
means.
anyway, Morgan Le
She's
Fay
God.
was definitely a powerful sorceress. I do know that. So if she's a fairy, that'd be cool as fuck.
Wasn't that from Willow?
What?
No, that's just her name is Morgan.
Okay.
Her name's not. I don't think it's Morgan Le Fay. It's like Morgan something, but he's like
Well, she has different
Morgana.
derivatives
That
of
was
her
her
name.
Gala?
Morgana.
Mor-
Willow, we have to fight Morgana. Willow, you idiot.
So fairies can
Beer!
communicate with animals. They can feel what the animal is feeling, and they are very protective over animals and nature. And they like to defend animals as well, because animals are mostly defenseless against people. So with flight, historically, few fairies were able to fly. They are not usually endowed with wings. Flight is not typically employed as a primary mode of transportation, but rather as a measure of protection.
What do you mean by historically?
Historically.
I don't think there's any historical evidence of fairies.
I think there is.
I don't think
I
that
think
there
you
is
just
at all.
didn't do any research.
And since they fly, their bones are hollow and very thin, so they wouldn't be able to fossilize.
Again,
And they have healing powers,
no bodies,
and
no
they
fucking
can
proof.
manipulate light,
They're in Agartha.
and they're shapeshifters,
Fucking H.
and they can pull glamour over themselves to make
Middle Earth.
themselves look beautiful, even though without the glamour, they're supposedly very hideous and ugly. Yep.
Interesting.
Yes, and if a person finds out or somehow gets them to reveal what they truly look like, none of their trickery works on them. Ever again. So they break the spell, so to speak.
Breaking the spells, break the cycle.
I've
Breaking
learned
the
more
spell,
about fairies than I ever knew about
breaking the
fairies today.
spell,
Great
breaking
job.
the spell, breaking the spell,
Breaking the spell.
breaking the spell.
Pixies supposedly have wings and can fly, versus not all fairies have wings and can fly. But there are two different major kingdoms or courts. There are the Seelie and Unseelie. The Seelie is the summer courts and the Unseelie is the winter courts. The major differences lie in both of how they act, especially towards humans, and how they interact with the world. The Seelie Court Fae aren't necessarily kind towards humans, but they are more likely to mess with them in a way that is fun for them, making us dance until we die, playing pranks, pulling hair, and, you know, creating the fairy realm locks and stuff, or whatever that they do with their
This
hairs.
is hardcore speculation that you're talking about.
Hardcore, but, you know, I'm sure some people have broke away and able to tell the tale today.
Yeah.
This is a Facebook forum that you found this
The
information on.
Unseelie Court Fae enjoy the darkness
Reddit.
of humanity, especially our emotions. It is even said that some lore they can literally feed off our emotions and energy, so they're like succubus.
Vampires.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, GameTrader.com says that fairies.
So there's that. They love singing and dancing. You know, don't disrespect them. Be kind towards nature. Don't leave your trash and cigarette butts everywhere.
Are the
Put fairy
Unseelie
gardens
Court
and
like
fairy
just
doors
like
up.
free of seals or something?
The Unseelie Court.
There's no
They're
seals
more-
allowed. No seals.
They're more chaos.
I kind of want to make a fairy.
They don't have any
episode
actual
now.
rules.
Do it.
Fairy
Where-
episode coming
Do
soon.
we have any fairy costumes?
Yeah.
No.
We could make some fairy costumes.
Perfect. And then I'm gonna like shrink you guys down, and you're gonna like lure Matt
Perfect.
to his
Okay.
death.
Well, who is Seelie and who's Unseelie here?
Who's the what?
Who's Seelie and
Oh
Unseelie?
my God, here we go. All right, so that's our episode on fairies, guys. I hope you enjoyed
You know
it.
what? You yourself have had run-ins with fairies,
I've
have you
had
not?
tons of runs in.
Why don't you say something?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, Matt.
Fairies steal my shit all the time.
Well, Matt, blaming the fairies isn't very nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know who you are and you know what you did.
I think the fairies are lovely, and they're
think so,
very
too.
fucking fun.
So
like
yeah,
fairies.
guys, I hope you've learned more about fairies.
And pixies and other fae folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Rotten Mornings, guys. Episode 4.
4.
It's going well.
9.
We will see you tomorrow,
It's season 13.
morning, afternoon, or night.
Sometime. We'll see you sometime.
One of those things will be true.
So yeah, stay rotten.
And
Yeah.
this is Grim signing off.
Stay rotten.
Yeah.
Stay rotten.
Stay rotten, me hoy me noise.
Oh my God.
Minoy, Minoy.
No, Doodle Bob says stay rotten, me hoy me noy.
Stay rotten.
That's what he says.
Minoy, Minoy.